Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Political Command Center headquarters in Mombasa. This morning, I want to be very frank and very proud to say, you cannot ask for a virtual hearing when you don't have conditions varied. Are we together? That you cannot ask for a virtual hearing of a case where conditions of bail were restrictive without the variation of a court order. There you are. Those who have ears, who have gone to school, can interpret and read further. The statement is very clear. Nobody in the ICC will come and say it is not the right statement. Oh, it's a bombshell. But it is the correct version that variation of orders, variation of location, variation of virtual appearance in court, Miriam Douglas, follow with variation of conditions upon which bail was granted. Therefore, the Kenyan state cannot guarantee the safety of a valid situation. So I'm putting to another compliment to what I was out yesterday, which some papers in Kenya fear or they don't have the knowledge about because they don't have it. Thank you very much, and I've done my job. My role as a journalist, a Commonwealth journalist with badges that I hold, credentials that I hold, is to expose, to give information to the public. I give my information to the public of the world, Kenya, Uganda, global world. I don't narrow myself to the issues of Kenya. I have tentacles everywhere. I have my feelers everywhere globally. I'm on news wires of Sky News, ITN, BBC. I am a member of the news wires. Breaking news across the continent of the world, the global market, I will receive them first. Investigatively, I'll go deeper to find out what is wrong with institutions. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that so that people can know that, yes, to vary any conditions of bail in international court, criminal court, or any jurisdiction of international repute, you need to seek permission from a country where the suspect or the target or the conflict or the dispute came from. In this case, Mr. Paul Gicheru came from Kenya, and you cannot vary his condition without talking to the Kenyan government on how they can keep him, how they will protect him in the case you are releasing him to go back and do an address virtually. Who is going to guarantee the virtual as he's on his way to the virtual station? Who is guaranteeing it? So good morning, Kenyans, and good morning, Africans. This is Editor's Memo. The question before us, Miriam, and the Editor's Memo, and good morning, Miriam Ogutu in Nairobi studios. Let's hear your voice.
And Doc, a very good morning to you and good morning to our viewers.
Thank you very much. Good morning, my good man Douglas Kirimi in Meru, the mountains of Abadeas, the slopes of Abadeas overlooking Tanzania. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. David Matanga, to Miriam Ogutu, to our crew at our headquarters, and also our friends across the world. And Doctor, we want to also keep appreciating what you have done to us and also the President of the Republic of Kenya. You've reminded the President to act on our issue in Somalia. So the Meru people thank you, and also thank the President for the Miraa business. You have used your TV stations and radio stations to also speak out of our issues and also give us an opportunity to voice our concerns. We've really struggled for this, and we are grateful. May God bless you.
Thank you very much for that appreciation. It really comes from from very many people in Kenya. They really give you appreciation for the type of information that you give out. But I want to thank you, Douglas Kirimi, and thank the people of Meru, and thank the legacy trend that has been spreading news across the continent of Africa and across Kenya in defense of His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. His legacy lives on. Let's look at, before we do that, clip in this and see the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Good morning.
Infrastructural development is one of Kenya's key economic growth pillar, which has seen massive public investment since the year 2013. It is one of the integral sectors which President Kenyatta has spent his energies on since his election in 2013. Almost a decade later, the marvel of the president's dream can be seen in the form of standard gauge railway, the SGR, thousands of kilometers of inter-county highways, ports, expressways, among other ongoing mega infrastructural projects throughout Kenya. In July 2014, President Kenyatta launched his administration's grand infrastructural ambition to tarmac 10,000 kilometers of roads. By October 2021, President Kenyatta's efforts have landed Kenyans more than 10,000 kilometers of tarmacked roads, with many other road construction projects nearing completion throughout the country. Some of the grand road projects that have recently been completed are gradually turning many parts of the country into rich business destinations by easing transportation as well as directly and indirectly kickstarting investments in other sectors like the real estate. Lamu County, for instance, is gradually turning a new leaf as a real estate investor's paradise with the ongoing LAPSET project, which is expected to make the county one of the largest contributors to Kenya's gross domestic product, GDP, once fully operational. To further improve devolution and promote inter-county commerce, the government of President Kenyatta has also implemented various inter-county road construction projects, some of which include the 585-kilometer Mau Mau Road, the single longest road construction project to have ever been commissioned in Kenya since independence. The Trans-County Highway connects at least 6 counties in central Kenya. Construction of the Isiolo-Mandera Road, which is one of the Horn of Africa gateway development projects aimed at opening up Kenya's frontiers counties for business. Other major inter-county road projects include the ongoing dualling of 84-kilometer Kenol-Sagana-Marua Road. The project, which is slated for completion in June 2022, will link Northern Corridor from Nairobi to the LAPSET Corridor in Isiolo. The strategic highway will provide faster linkage for Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Machakos and Embu counties once completed. Also significant is the ongoing construction of the 113.5-kilometer Garsenwi to Lamu Road, which is nearing completion. The road is a key transport corridor linking Ethiopia, South Sudan and Nairobi to the port of Lamu. To facilitate long-distance freight haulage to the hinterland, the government has also upgraded Kenya's railroads, including 177.2-kilometer Nairobi-Nanyuki Railway, which is already operational. Also important, the revival projects of the 216-kilometer railway linking Nairobi and Kisumu is nearing completion, with expected cargo and passenger transport services anticipated to resume by the end of the year. The government is also building Nairobi's commuter rail network to ease travel for city residents, and part of the commuter rail construction include the creation of 10 new substations. The ongoing construction of the 27.1-kilometer expressway, which is soon being completed, will enhance transportation in the city by reducing travel times within Nairobi. The 27.1-kilometer project is the longest expressway in East and Central Africa, solidifying Kenya's position as a communication and transportation hub in the region. Public investments on infrastructure has been vital in providing direct jobs to many Kenyans. It has also stimulated growth in other sectors of the economy. For instance, within the 7 months of 2021, cement consumption hit a record of 4.1 million tons as the construction of expressway and other mega infrastructural projects hit top gear. Many of the ongoing mega construction projects have contributed to the growth in the sector, providing many jobs to Kenyans.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. You have watched the legacy trend, the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We have seen the type of development that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has done. You have seen the infrastructure. You have seen the roads. You have seen the hospitals. You have seen the ports, the railway connecting to places, the opening up of the hinterland. The hinterland is being opened up. The legacy for the last 10 years is here. Next week, we shall be exhibiting this and very many other things right from the coastal city of Mombasa, where we shall be exhibiting many things, going around to check on the real progress and what is available to tell the Kenyans this is indeed the legacy of His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, handing over this legacy to His Excellency President-elect, already going on with the legacy, Raila Amolo Odinga. You can go and anywhere ask Angel Gabriel and come back and tell others on the earth these projects do exist. These projects are shared by Kenyans. Is there any Kenyan who is not driving on these projects? Is there any Kenyan who is not using the express highway? Miriam will soon do another express highway. We shall do it behind and bring the video for the legacy trend. We promised that people would drive in town in 15 minutes. What are the obstacles? The challenges? Don't worry. Pick this clip later on. Look for yourself. Look at it. Sit in your house. Sitting in your sitting room. Sit on the veranda. Sit in the baraza. Sit on the streets of Nairobi and ask yourself, who has done this? Is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. You can call him names. You can try to belittle the president. But some of us who come to defend the president, we don't defend. We have no room for prisoners. Let the prisoners of integrity. You have no degree? Go back to school. Don't waste people's time. Yes. And Mr. Sakaja, I'm just taking note to warn you. There is another tsunami If you are in a hole, don't continue digging. Mr. Sakaja, me, I'm your father, whoa. I am your uncle. Be careful. Because it looks you are stepping beyond the mark. Atwoli told you he will not comment. And he has also told me not to comment. But now you are overstepping by insulting the president. I'm warning you, Mr. Sakaja. I'm your uncle. I don't want to come into it. It will be messy. Stop dragging the name of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta into a mess. Your mess of smoking bangi, smoking cigarettes, drinking overnight, sleeping, urinating in your pants, in hotels, reputable hotels. Shut up. We have not come in it yet. You are just joking with people, bystanders. But the people who know you like me, your uncle, I'm keeping quiet. I don't want to go in it. You have embarrassed me. You have embarrassed Atwoli. You have embarrassed everybody. And you have embarrassed someone. I am keeping quiet because of someone. I'm keeping quiet. But don't drag the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, name into the things. He has helped you. He has documented who you are, but he has never been party to the woes that you have. You started with Mudavadi. You switched sides. You came to Raila. You started with Jubilee, came to Mudavadi, came to Raila, came back to Mudavadi, came back to this. Now you are with Huda. Our blood does not behave that way. I'm a Ugandan, and I will never say I'm not. I'm a Ugandan. I've suffered for 37 years. But the people who have helped me on this journey are my friends and still remain my friends. That at this moment I don't discuss some of them, even when we are falling out. But if I had wanted money so much and power, I would have taken Museveni's appointment as a minister without a portfolio for peace in the region. I was offered that ministry. On 8th of December 2008, when I went to Kampala, I was in Uganda for the first time. I was offered a ministry and an ambassadorial level of plenipotentiary, ambassador, plenipotentiary, and extraordinary to sign on behalf of the government of Republic of Uganda, wherever I would be. Doesn't mean I've been in Uganda. I turned down the offer because of principles. Because of principles. So the most important thing here today are principles. It's not a hearsay. These are records. We have recorded tapes, video, and in presence of presidents, President Chisano, Vice President Riek Machar, President Chikwete. They are my friends. Some are former presidents. One is an active president, Dr. Ruakana Rugunda, Mr. Okello Oryem, and British and European ambassadors. I was given that post publicly. It's not a hearsay. But because I had principles, I turned it down until, so those people who think I don't also feel for my democracy in my country, you wait until you see one of these days or some time to come that I am the integral part of a long, long struggle that we have had for politics in our country. Thank you very much. Those are the comments I wanted to make. I have avoided making because Miriam, that summarizes exactly what you are saying in the morning about the government knows who Sakaja is. And the basic thing to do, just step back and go and collect that degree for another 2 years. It's not shameful. He has amassed wealth. He has a car which he did not have. He even stole money from DNA, which was given for political parties. He stole it with Onyango, the current somebody who was a speaker of Kisumu County Council. You see the troubles they had. They turned on President Uhuru Kenyatta. Please, we have kept quiet on so many things. Sakaja, go, just get out, my son. You are publishing these things. I have not started publishing on you. It will be messy. As a legacy trader who defends Uhuru Kenyatta, it will be messy. Please, go slowly, go away. Deal with Ruto. But the Ruto you are dealing with, know that there is a storm in the cup in making. Big one, big, and big, very big. Because when you pretend that you pray, when God that knows you don't pray, when you pretend you have not poked the eyes of other people's children and thrown them in Miami for animals to eat, God pays you back. Thank you. Good morning. Miriam, the topic before us is very clear. Are the elections of Kenya contentious before the vote 2022 August? Miriam, with due respect, bring a small background on it. Then we allow Krimi to say what he thinks, then I will come up with a takeaway, we go home.
Okay, but usually on editor's memo, we don't have the notes because you have to give the points for us to talk about. But I do have a story on the Standard newspaper, the front page, that has to do
with that's the background.
Yes.
Correct.
On page 6 on the Standard newspaper, the latest squabbles, the IEBC. The fate of nearly 1 million presidential votes in 1,200 polling stations where Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission does not have 3G or 4G network may be in a limbo come August 9th. There has been political ping-pong between IEBC and the Communication Authority of Kenya over a number of polling stations that will be covered or how results will be transmitted in areas with no connectivity. According to the Electoral Act, IEBC should have an integrated electoral system that enables biometric voter registration, electronic voter identification, and electronic transmission of results procured 120 days before the elections. But the electoral agency is unsure of the exact number of polling stations not covered by 3G or 4G network, creating a possible flashpoint of trouble in transmission of election results, which may in turn affect the presidential contest. Notably, IEBC is still at loggerheads with the CAK, just 54 days to the poll, and each side is yet to to establish the said coverage, hence the network coverage of polling stations nationwide. CAK insists it is the role of IEBC to do verification and physically confirm the connectivity because they know where the polling stations are. But the IEBC insists they do not control or deploy network coverage, a critical component given the absence of physical data or network coverage complicates the Commission's planning. The CA and IEBC officials held a consultative meeting on February 22nd last year on election preparedness, and the electoral agency requested the CA to undertake a quality of service assessment within the identified IEBC polling centers before the general election.
Thank you. Kirimi, your comments. Thank you very much, Miriam. That is the background, the crisis of the matter. Is the only, first of all, Miriam, I want to state categorically here before Kirimi comes in, that we have laid a landmine. Are you with me? We have laid landmines. And now we have said, it's okay, let's walk through the landmine, then remove the dead bodies later. If someone tells you that over 1,000 polling stations, no network of 3G, 3-4, even if there are some areas there is no network of satellite even. Under which satellite are you manning? Where are you manning this satellite? It now brings you to the question, Miriam, that I've been telling you. We have already landed into chaos. So, even if IEBC says it will buy some satellite modems, I have a satellite modem. I have a satellite myself. I can work anywhere. I can plug in my satellite in this country, anywhere, in my laptop and work. Where are the satellites? Who's bringing the satellites? Who has purchased the satellite? Who has authorized? You remember the question of procurement, Miriam, came about in elections in 2017. Did you remember that? Now, we are making the same silly mistake that we are doing a procurement so lately without even public participation as to whether these satellites are not already programmed. Are you with me? Because you have 700. So you can program this satellite for those 700, but they could not necessarily, Miriam, be the votes of Raila or Wajikoya or Maura or Ruto. They could be the votes of the person preferred candidate, which the satellite can now say all of them in those 1,000 votes, which is 1 million votes, isn't it? Jesus Christ, where are we going, Miriam? It's a sad story. So thank you very much. Unless you want Kirimi, I wanted Kirimi to come into this, yeah, but he's off.
Yeah, and I think because it's just a couple of days ago that IEBC responded to some of the queries that had been made by Azimio One Kenya Alliance on the coverage. And IEBC stated very clearly that there was no need to worry because they had worked on that and they will use satellite to provide the internet for this 1,200 polling stations. So this back and forth between the Communications Authority of Kenya and IEBC is what really I don't understand. Communications Authority of Kenya is saying IEBC should have went and identified which are these 1,200 polling stations so that they go and know what to do with that. They go do mapping and know what to, so IEBC should have identified, and the IEBC is saying no, that should have been your job. You go identify which of these polling stations don't have network coverage, the 3G or 4G network coverage. So
Thank you very much. Some breaking news. Douglas, you are back. Let's not lose you before I break the news. Something breaking news come on in here. Yes, Douglas Kiremi.
Yes, sir.
That is the crisis of the matter.
Doc, I will say something before Douglas.
Miriam.
Douglas, Miriam is very bad to
go
catch
ahead.
the lady.
Go
ahead.
No, my thought of has been
fine. Douglas, because I saw Douglas has been disappearing. We don't want to lose him again.
Okay.
That's why I came in. Sorry. Douglas.
Doctor, I agree that the IBC has 1,200 polling stations without access to 3G network, and those areas that do not have access to 3G network. What is Chebukati telling us? And I also believe that Chebukati has said that he is not technically prepared for that election. And I believe that at the end of the day, we are going to have an opportunity as the people of Kenya to interrogate and also to see how Chebukati runs this election that he has said for over 2 years that he is not technically prepared. I believe from the bottom of my heart that this election is contentious even before we go into the vote on 9th of August. We cannot be able to have free, credible, and transparent elections, whereas there are places in this country we are not going to vote. There are places in Congo where people do not vote, Dr. Masanga. There are places in South Sudan where people do not vote. Chebukati wants to take us into that era, and I don't believe that Chebukati has the best interest for the nation, and I've asked him before, over 2 years now, consistently on this television, to resign and let another person take his position. He is a good lawyer, he can go and represent his clients, but not the trust and also the responsibility has been placed on his shoulders by the people of Kenya. I believe Chebukati is a weak link, like I've said for over 2 years now, between us and a peaceful Kenya. Okay, Chebukati is going to take this country to the dogs because nobody can be able to not challenge. Everybody is going to challenge these elections because even these people who have been disqualified are lodging disputes with IBC, Conflict Resolution Committee, and also they are taking IBC to court because of incompetence of one man. This country, Dr. David Matsanga and Miriam Mogutu, I believe, from the bottom of my heart, is not technically prepared for this election. And I've asked Chebukati before, he doesn't listen. This country is going to burn because of one person. If this election is going to go wrong in this country, because this is a very contentious election, Dr. David Masanga, I gave an illustration how you can be able to invest your money and these people come and overturn your election or maybe lose an election based on technicalities that Chebukati has said that he is not even technically prepared for. Who is going to lose their 10 million or 20 million Kenya shillings and keep quiet because of one man, Dr. David Masanga. This country is having a very contentious election, and we should not be governing that with a man that is indecisive, incompetent, and also a man of incomplete patriotism to their country, their flag and soil. Chebukati is the weak link between a peaceful Kenya and a greater nation, because we cannot be able to have free and credible elections where Chebukati is also giving us mixed signals that we, the people of Kenya, do not have a stake on what is going to happen at the Independent Electoral Commission of the Republic of Kenya. There is no aspirant in this country that is going to lose their money, lose an election, and just go home because Chebukati decided so. Dr. David Masanga, I believe in these contentious times that we are in, especially in the electioneering period, from the bottom of my heart, we need to take care of that. If we do not take care of that aspect of our elections, the people of Kenya are going to contest these elections. I believe in at the highest level, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya, and we, as the citizens of this country, we have also said that we do not believe and we are not satisfied with the competence of the IBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati. What a patriotic chairman of the IBC would have done is to resign so that the aspirations and the dreams of the people of Kenya, the dream of our nation, would go forward without his incompetence and also exit. Thank you.
Miriam, thank you very much. You had something to say.
No, it's fine. I've
I
forgotten
would like
my
to,
yeah
yes.
my train of thought. Nimesahau what at some point I really wanted to make it. If I remember it within the show, I will bring it up.
Thank you very much. Why I said the best method of checking the degrees and not checking the degrees depends on a better method. Some news coming in is Wavinya maybe was listening to our television from yesterday and the other day and last week. She has now produced the student number 9451489. If you go to that student number, log in the University of Sadak. Some people are pronouncing it as South Style something. It's called the University of Sadak. You will find Wavinya sat, and this is what Sakanya should have done. If we had this number, this student number, which is 9451489. There are so many ways as a computer scientist, ICT, that Douglas can cross-check with. This is a student number all over the United Kingdom. Anywhere in the world will prove to you that Wavinya satisfied the University Board of Sadak and was awarded, and the credentials of the United Kingdom was awarded that degree. I don't know if there are any other obstacles that people don't like Wavinya. Then Miriam, I don't know. And I told you, Wavinya, it does not mean anything that you talk about in this Africa, you people. If you are in Britain, there are options. One option is go and do a foundation course. They don't want to know. There are 3 categories of foundation course. Let me help Kenyans here. One foundation course is certificate foundation course, which leads you to a diploma foundation course. The second foundation course is a diploma foundation, which is A levels, of equivalent of anything in the world, because the subjects taught in the certificate and the foundation are equivalent to the subject of anybody who is in the campus. Then the last stage is from the diploma, Miriam, you enter a full-time degree, or after obtaining 2 to 3 diplomas, and I repeat, 2 to 3 diplomas from different subjects, it is equals to, you can even jump the degree. Do you know what they ask you? What is your experience? You know, I've been a broadcaster. That's what, like, if they ask Miriam, you should say I've been a broadcaster. I am a news anchor for over 10 years. I've anchored the news in several television stations. I've anchored the news in Sky. I've been on the screen. You write everything here. Plus these 3 diplomas. The board converts these 3. I'm telling you, whether one was a diploma in law, another one was a diploma in politics, another one was a diploma in Kitu. forward, you can start a master's degree. You don't need, those are converted into a degree. And you can start online. They give you an answer. Go ahead. Because you have the tools. The diploma teaches you the tools of analysis. You get a degree, a diploma from the University of Nairobi on international relations, politics and international relations. You study it. It is valuable. Then you go and get a diploma in mass communication from another university or institution while you are studying also at Nairobi University. It is valuable. Then you go and get a degree in ICT, information communication technology, which will help you to run your courses. It is valuable. So Wavinya has not been selfish. She has provided that number and a letter from the University of Sadak stating that she actually was a student. And the reference student number is there. Thank you. Though if there is anything else they want from her, it's a matter of people which becomes political witch hunt. Okay? Are we together? That was what I wanted to bring to your notice. That is the information, sir, currently now, as we stand. Her case is built on several diplomas that she had, that you don't need to take this lady for another 2 years to study a subject she has passed with diplomas. 3 or 4 of them, I'm told there are 4 in the same subject. And they don't. Another alternative is they completely tell you, go back and study a course, produce a diploma. And with the diploma, you can now continue with your studies and have your degrees up to the last type of degree. And they will ask, where is it? It is here. They give you a space anywhere. And that is, we should not pretend to know things which we, because of internet, people have pretended to know some things as if, you know, some of the information that is laid on the internet is very wrong and very, very, very bad. I don't rely on the internet to search where my home is or where my house, where I eat my food. I shouldn't. I rely on reasoning. The reasoning is very clear. It is better to reason than to speculate, because internet, some of them, if they say your leg is broken, was broken 2,000 years ago, the internet has brought that leg being broken. So you want to say now it is healed. So those are some of the things. And which Mr. Sakaja, if Sakaja had, I believe this university in Uganda is linked to another university abroad. Or Tim, who is Tim? They have the numbers, student number. That's why now, those who are studying right now, like Miriam and others, I hope your number is now there. Nobody is going to ask you in the future about your CV. They will go to that number and find out when you were a student. So that is all the case that we wanted to clarify. Any comments so far?
No, but I see Douglas is back.
Yes, but Douglas had given his comments, but on Wavinya, Douglas?
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, any comments on Wavinya?
I made my comment. I made my comments on Wavinya's degree certificate yesterday, but still, I would have an opinion over the same. Wavinya's path to a degree, if contested in a court of law, she should be able to
Douglas, your connection.
Get the same. Miriam, can you hear me?
Your connection is not. It's a bit of background noise.
Is it stable now?
Yes, yes.
I'm saying for Wavinya's degree certificate, if it's contested in a court of law, I believe that she should be able to prove a path to a degree and also provide, if she went to school in the UK, she needs to also provide details over the same, how she went to the UK and how she paid her school fees, because every institution has a record, a public record of every person that paid school fees in the institution. She needs to be able to prove that, and we have no problem with that. I also believe that the Constitution says you should be able to have a degree, and that's what Wavinya has. And I believe from what I have and what I have seen in public domain that Wavinya Ndeti has a degree. So if Wavinya Ndeti's degree is contested in a court of law, they can be able to go out there and prove that equally she went to school, because at the end of the day, what we are having today are so many academic frauds who are masquerading as leaders. I know leaders who served in the other dispensation of county governors 2013-2017 or 2017-2022 who have no qualifications to run for governorship and all that. But they went to court and brought court orders. And this is what we were saying in the morning, Miriam, that we have a huge problem for people who go to courts and these courts grant you orders. If you have committed an illegality, Dr. David Matanga, these Kenyan courts, I believe this is a very bad precedent that we are setting. That an academic fraud has set a precedent in the Republic of Kenya that you can go to court and be allowed by the same courts to contest and they win and they continue serving, whereas the Constitution is clear. A degree, whatever degree it is, but if you have a clear and also clean, legit, and valid degree certificate, you can run for governorship in this country. And we have no problem with the people who have not gone to school. Please, you can go back to school and run another time. There is always time. And the luxury of going to school is shown when you have those papers and also you can present them and become a leader. And governorship is not the only position that a person can run for, Dr. David Masanga and Miriam Ogutu. You can run for MCA, MP, Senator. Those positions do not require you to have a degree. If you are a nominated MCA, nominated MP, you are not required to produce a degree. So Miriam, the whole issue about it is about sanitizing our public morals and also our public stand on issues. We cannot have the same courts that we trust and have placed a responsibility on to be able to clear the mess, continue and go out there and declare that these people should come and run. It is setting a very bad precedent, and I think these are issues that we should be able to correct, especially for our judiciary. It is sickening that at this age and the time, we have people who can bribe a few judiciary officials and get away with it, Miriam. For Wavinya Ndeti, I wish her the very best. She is a formidable woman, and I pray that she is going to prove her path to a degree and get back to the campaign trail and also win the governorship in Machakos. Those are my comments, Miriam. But if you do not have a degree, you can go back to school, including another election is coming. The 2027 is not even the end of elections in this country. So long as we are having a 5-year cycle for elections, Miriam, if you don't have a degree, nobody is begrudging you. Nobody has ill intentions for you. Please go back to school and bring a degree. As simple as that, Miriam. Thank you.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much, Douglas.
Thank you very much. First, I wanted, we are short of above time, but I wanted Stephen to play one clip of what the Minister of Education in Kenya said. Then I come to the contentious issues. In summary, I just make a takeaway. Play that.
Now, as Minister for Education, and we were dealing with these cases of, leaders who present subject certificates that are fake and so on. One time, in a past election, a leader turned up with a certificate of attending a crusade, which was written in some language from South America. And because of the hurry, they allowed the fellow to go and run for an election. So later on, when someone with linguistic competencies from that area was found, they said, okay, look at this. This is supposed to be a master's degree. They said, no. This is actually, in the language, when you translate it, it is certificate of attending a crusade. When I was Minister for Education, and we were dealing with these cases of, leaders who present subject certificates that are fake and so on. One time, in a past election, a leader turned up with a certificate of attending a crusade, which was written in some language from South America. And because of the hurry, they allowed the fellow to go and run for an election. So later on, when someone with linguistic competencies from that area was found, they said, okay, look at this. This is supposed to be a master's degree. They said, no. This is actually, in the language, when you translate it, it is certificate of attending a crusade.
Thank you very much, Miriam. I don't know what you have got out of that, but you have seen the Minister of Education by then, Dr. Matiang, telling us about a person who went for a crusade, was given a certificate of attendance, and came back to say it is a master's degree from the University of South America. But later on, I think they went to the camp at one of the embassies and tried to get an interpreter who said, no, this was a certificate of attendance. But there is still something very strange, Miriam, here, which, if you permit me, Douglas, and Miriam, I'm not very good at reading some of these things. I would send them to Miriam to read, because I am a man who gets all my material. I don't read some things from, but let me try. Some of you reduce driving speed upon sight of a traffic officer. When you increase your speed after driving beyond the checkpoint on the road, you will get involved in an accident, car crash, and die. The policeman in Kampala, I will tell you the name, who he is. It is already public knowledge and is trending. The policeman in Kampala said, we shall come to the scene with our tape measures, take all the measurements we need, and then deliver your body to the mortuary and receive our salary at the end of the month. Douglas or Miriam, are we in that scenario? And this was said by Senior Police Superintendent Rogers Kauma Nsereko, KMP Police Commandant in Kampala. And his picture, and it is trending all over the whole world. That what the police do is very simple. You have driven and you have gone, they will come with tape measure, measure this, measure that, but it will not stop their salary. Is it the case of the University of Nairobi? That, or you call it Q, okay, what is it called, Miriam?
It's the Commission of University Education.
QE is called QE. Yes, that one. They don't care. They clear you. They get their salary. We would not be in this mess, would we? If they stuck on the ground and said, no, that degree from Miriam, that degree from Kirimi, that degree from Sakaja is not, we will not be having this trouble. Now we are in the trouble. But the man who gave us these 2 letters is going to get his salary at the end of the month. So what does that mean to the Kenyan people? You lose more money supporting projects that are fake. Here we are. And it looks like it's my country, Uganda, delivering these degrees.
Yeah.
Therefore, it brings me to my internal retrospective analysis. Why? Why?
And I think in Kenya today, from Uganda, the only degree that is respected is Makerere, because so many Kenyans, from what I've heard, they go there and they dubiously get their academic papers. And so if
we have a branch. Miriam, we have a branch of Kampala University.
So if you say, I went to school.
And the owners of Kampala University in Kenya is Mr. William Samoei Ruto. Together with the owner, he's a shareholder.
Yeah, and that's why if you say you've gone to school in Uganda, people look at you like, okay, unless it's Makerere, they don't take you seriously because then it's easier to get the papers there.
Thank you very much, Douglas. Thank you very much, Miriam. It is, Makerere has stuck on its ground.
Well,
Nairobi University must stick on its ground. Remain not a theater of absurdity. And say no, 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 no. We can't have universities springing up. We used to go, remember, medium days, we wanted to open up university with another professor in is now standing for one of the slots in Kisumu. Not Professor Ogenda, not Professor, not the one, the lawyer. There is another professor, a great friend of mine. I remember there are 3 Kisumu contestants, Stephen, check on those, who are all professors. They even said everybody in Kisumu is professor. One of them, we took the charter. We went to South Sudan to open a university there. That professor wanted me to talk to Dr. Riaka Machar to facilitate him. Actually, he bought buildings. But I am telling you, my sister, that guy, the Minister of Education, who had studied in Birmingham University in London, is a great friend of mine. And he was our great friend. Because all of us used to be together in London with this professor. He's also in London. He's from Kisumu. He has come to contest for that seat. There are 3 professors contesting it. Check the Kisumu election. You will find them. One of them is, this guy turned on, went and visited the buildings. He went and visited the building which the professor, it was not me, I was only helping to link them with Dr. Riak Machar so that they can open the university. And the Riak can tell it, the Riak agreed, sent the letter to that man who is our friend. And he called me to meet him. We met him. He said, okay, fine, Matanga, the papers, I have no problem. The subject, I have no problem. We have linked you to Warwick University. Warwick, and they had agreed. the chancellor, everybody flew in up to Nairobi Intercontinental Hotel. When this minister of South Sudan went to inspect our dormitories, the dormitories of the man said, to hell, you are my friends, but go to hell. Did you hear what I said? He told this guy, the professor contesting somewhere in Kisumu, he said, you are my friend. We studied together. Matanga, I know you. You are my friend. We are studying in the same university in London, in Birmingham. I was in Birmingham. I came. We visited you as student leader in Oldgate East. But to hell with you. You know what he told us? To hell with you. How can you put students in the toilets that you will give them a degree? How will the students study in this type of toilets? He said, unless you build new dormitories to the standard of, do you know what he said? To the standard of Britain. I'm sorry. I have the letter today. He wrote and said, I've turned it down. Do you know how much this professor had spent? 1.5 million pounds. His 4 houses. He had houses in Dagenham, in North London. They were all taken. That is, what am I saying here? That is how strict media people should be. Even a country like South Sudan. It looked at the buildings. It did not disqualify them because of the content. It's because of the buildings. Miriam, because of the buildings. If you have a bad building, how will the students study? And this building was on top of shops. The man said, how can you put students on top of a market? Those who want to study during the daytime. And that's why I don't know where the Kenya Minister of Education has been. Miriam, believe me, frankly speaking, several universities have mushroomed in my country, Uganda. There are so many universities that have come that give fake certificates. I'm sorry to say that.
And now I think that the Ugandan authority also needs to look at this team university. There were, according to official government papers in Uganda, the team university was licensed to offer open and distance learning in 2020. And yet Sakaja apparently or purportedly got his graduated earlier than that, before this university was given the license to have open and distance learning. So I think that is something that the Ugandan authorities have to do.
But the professor, you are right, Miriam, the professor and the vice chancellor comes from my village. Dr. Masava says no.
But the reputation of the institution is at stake now, or that does not matter?
Yes, and he has said those documents are fake.
They should come out clearly.
They have come out clearly, but you know now, Sakaja, after being cornered from Uganda side, he came to finish the anger on.
No, it's saying it's the government which is engineering.
Yeah, on President Uhuru Kenyatta.
You either have the papers or you don't. It is that simple.
You know, there is one thing to say sorry. If you have found yourself in a very terrible situation, which some of us have found ourselves in several times, it is very sorry to say we retreat and go back and come back. It saves humanity. Don't insist and dig the hole deeper. Somebody is going to come in. Yes, Douglas, I can see your hand up.
Thank you, Doctor. I think also after we are done with the issue of fake degrees in the country, we should also go for the American universities awarding pastors and also everybody that would want an honorary degree in the country, because pastors have abused the right to university or college education, because they just think you wake up in the morning and get a degree. Everyone today in town is a doctor. They don't want to go to school and they spend time and earn a doctorate. And I have no problem with anyone getting a doctorate degree for an exemplary work done. These people, they are only rise to a doctorate degree, an honorary doctorate degree is these people would just open a small church in the village, and then the next minute he is called a doctor. These American universities that have also come to hawk honorary degrees in Kenya, those should be crossed and also should not be given an opportunity to come and parade those degrees in this country, because they don't even offer some serious programs. They just offer theology, then the next one they are offering over 2,000 people doctorate degrees in the country. Every village now has a pastor who is a doctor, Dr. Masanga. This is so wrong.
Yeah, they go to America and they study theology. You haven't seen the topics of theology online. You can answer
some of these people are not studying, they are just applying.
I'm telling you, you can answer those degrees. You can answer those questions online that Jesus was done, the verse this, verse that. No, it is being done. Bishop Wanjiru was there. Yes. You needed to cram the Bible. Boss, you are American education is evangelism. They are evangelists. They preach God, God, God. They can pray for you, so be careful. They can pray against you, Douglas. So they can pray for you. So thank you very much. Let me do a takeaway on the contentious elections, which was the topics, Miriam, they concern. These topics are also contentious. This is one of the reasons on the contentious elections. People with papers and without papers, agreeing to them and not agreeing to them, and saying they have done, and admitting Chidero. You saw Chidero last night on TV, Homa Bay governor. You know, he has already been given the certificate. There was no hassle around Chidero at all. You saw that. And then there is hassle around Mr. Sonko. There's hassle around so many other people. But Chidero, nobody has talked about him. Is it because the people of Homa Bay are silent? Is it because the people of Homa Bay what is the problem here? The people of Homa Bay, they don't know that Chidero has some cases in the court. Why is it silent? So thank you very much. Those are some of the hazards of an election. This is my takeaway. It is very sad for a country to pay over 50 billion Kenya shillings. That's $5 billion to conduct an election, to expect an election, a good election to come on 20th, yet the taxpayer and the citizen of the Republic of Kenya expect nothing but a clean, transparent, free, fair, and a recognizable election in Kenya. But the obstacles that have been laid, the obstacles that we see, the challenges that we see are precursor to what might happen after the vote has been cast. Why then would Kenyans sit and watch the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission taint their election, read different laws, interpret them differently, allow people with integrity to be mixed with those with no integrity, accept degrees from some place, revoke them later, give certificates to candidates, revoke them later. Tell us that 1,000 polling stations to date are not with 3G or 3.4. Yet the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission had very good 4 years to 5 years to make sure that this election is free and fair and transparent, that all information that was required, the tools for making a free and fair election are in place. When did they start raising the questions? Therefore, why did they and how did they get the voters register? From which voters register did they accept the 48,000 registered voters? Is it the old one or the new one? If it is a new one, which they are unveiling today, then my question remains, because as an independent observer, I'm not a voter in the Kenya elections. I'm an independent observer. I've observed the elections across the continent of Africa and in the world. I've gone to Serbia. I've gone to Ismo. Those are the far places that I've gone. I've observed the elections in Britain itself as an agent of Labour Party. There are several things that you can see as a monitor. And I believe AU monitors are in this country. European Union monitors are in this country. UN monitors are watching and listening to me. When did the IEBC discover that 1,000 polling stations don't have 3G and 4G? If that is the case, how did they get the coordinates which they gave to the Communication Authority of Kenya? The Communication Authority of Kenya does not install communication apparatus. It monitors communication apparatus. Therefore, they monitor you from the desktop, where Miriam, you can see one from Miriam's, where you can see from the desk. Someone will give you the data, you feed it in and find out where there is communication and where there is no communication. Therefore, I believe some of these contentious issues which surround the data, the equipment, the coordinates should have been solved much earlier before Kenya goes to a vote. Is therefore, I put a question. Are the elections of Kenya contentious before the vote is cast in August 2022? The answer to me is yes. Thank you very much. That is my take.
All right, and thank you so much for watching. This has been the editor's memo. Thank you, Douglas Kirimi, and of course, Dr. David Matanga. I'll see you later with more news from across the continent. Bye-bye.